ahead, Vince.
Yeah, I have a slightly different problem, and that is that I'm imagining that I'm lying to myself,
Mm.
that I can't be the way I imagine that I am. It's not possible for me to be how I imagine. So I recognize that no thought is trustworthy. That there every thought I have is going to lie to me. It's just the nature of thoughts. But my body, it's not going to lie to me. And I can pass it off as just getting old, but my body is telling me things with this arthritis, this 24/7 pain of arthritis that is just there. And I even hesitate to use the word pain. I need to invent a new word because from a traditional perspective, it's painful, at times more painful, at other times less painful, but it's painful. And and it's just a nagging ache that a lot of the time I'm not focusing on, so I don't feel it. But it's always there as soon as focus comes back to it. I went to the doctors a couple of days ago after having been to pathology, and I was diagnosed with diabetes, low-grade diabetes. So not severe enough to need insulin, or not severe enough to need even Ozempic, but severe enough that I need to do something about it. Um, Yet I have a relatively good diet. I don't, I probably do eat too much sweet stuff. I definitely like my sweets, but I attempt to keep my sugar levels down a bit. Obviously not enough. So I fill myself with how much sugar I'm taking in, or how much carbohydrates I'm taking in that get converted to sugars. Um, when I say I think I've got a fairly good diet, obviously that my diet's not good enough, or I'm not exercising hard enough. I don't know. So my body's telling me that things aren't optimal. My head says, well, that's probably reasonable given your age and
That's bypassing. That's bypassing.
yes, of course, that's what my mind does. It wants to make it okay. So if I listen to my body, there are things going on
Yeah.
that I need to attend to. Well, do I need to attend to them? Maybe I can happily let them carry me away off into
You can do that.
death or
Well,
something. I don't know.
yeah, but there's the psychosomatic element of it, that arthritis is where energy is stagnant. There's like a freeze happening. There's a rigidity happening.
Yeah,
Diabetes is that there's a lack of sweetness in life. Life is hard, and life is a struggle, and those are the underlying beliefs that are present when those diseases develop. Full stop, new chapter, completely new book, different page, and all of that. What I would love to look into with you is, and Todd is really excellent at that, it's that part about your expectations about life being different than it is, you expecting that pain would be better than what is right now, that delusion that is happening, because with the pain also comes insight on a level that would never happen without the pain. So there's a resistance to what is. There's this idea that there's a parallel world where Vince has no pain, and that parallel world is so much better than this world where Vince he has pain. Do you want to do that?
I mean, you just did.
No,
That
but
was really, really good.
you did better. You did better.
That was great. No, yeah, well, but you just
She just turned the switch on, Todd. You better go.
yeah, no, but you're right. I mean, you said it, that there's just a parallel thought going on, that, like right now I'm sitting here and I don't know if there's a nerve being pinched or something, and there's, this shooting going down the leg, and ordinarily there would be this, okay, this is just pain, like I have to move and do something about it. But as you've been sitting there talking about that, I've just been sitting here just kind of feeling this. What if you take the label pain off of something, you just end up with initially uncomfortable sensation. And then when you look into that, is the word uncomfortable even applicable to it? You just have sensation. You just have something that's this thing. But what you were getting at is that there has to be some sort of resistance to it, where you feel like, I don't want this pain here. And the only reason you could think that is because there's an idea that you could have a moment without the pain. There's a memory of a time when your arm didn't hurt. And there's a thought of a future where maybe your arm won't hurt again. But right now, this moment is being set in comparison to the memory of how it used to be when your arm was all nimble, and basically, I mean, that's the funny thing, right? Like, your arm probably, when it felt good, just had no sensation at all. It's never like
Mm.
your arm has been like, oh my God, I have the best feeling arm ever. Like, this is just amazing. It's just you don't
Well,
notice.
look, I watched. We went out for tea last night, and I watched a waitress pick up a plate with her right hand, and I was so envious of her ability to do that. And she didn't even know what she was doing.
Yeah.
She picked up these plates to take them away, and I'm just so, wow, wouldn't it be great if I could do that? That was so,
There's your
it
comparison.
was a really poignant moment to watch her do that. Yeah.
Perfect. You used to be able to do that without thinking about it. Now you
Yes.
very much would not take it for granted if you could do it again without pain, but it's reflecting on, I know I used to be able to do that. She can do that. I wish I could do that again. And then that sets up your expectation of how this moment should be, not that this moment as it is, with an arm that has sensation going through it and maybe does not function as well as picking up a plate.
So this is back to me fooling myself, because I imagine that I accept it for the way it is.
Yeah.
But I'm lying to myself, obviously, because my body's telling me I don't accept it. I am resisting.
Yeah.
So I can't believe my thoughts that say, "Oh, you're okay with this, Vince. You're accepting it,"
Yeah. I
because
mean,
my body's saying, bullshit.
well, yeah, and watch the, like you said, in the body, check for resistance, other places in the body that seem to be tightening up in resistance to that unpleasant sensation, or that sensation in your arm. Notice if you've got that going on, and if you're tightening up in your butt or your legs or your chest, or something else creating that felt boundary, like barrier or armor or something against feeling that sensation. So you're kind of gritting your teeth and fighting against it in some way, and actually, ironically, amplifying this sort of seemingly pervasiveness of that pain, or that sensation. But if like you said, if the thoughts are saying, I'm fine with it, then check your actions around it too. What are you doing to
Yeah.
try to relieve it, or to distract yourself from it, or to, that's really where the insight is, that, oh, okay, I'm okay with it, but I'm shifting constantly, or I'm going to move it, I'm going to rub it, and I'm going to, smoke some weed, or whatever the thing is that, is the kind of balm for it.
Yeah, but also look into the part that you talked about, that most times when we have pain, we think back to a time not where we didn't have pain, but where we didn't notice that we had an arm.
Yeah.
I mean, how many did you just notice your left earlobe? Of course not, because you have no pain. You have no idea that you have a left earlobe. The left earlobe is not, in your sense field at all. So
Speak for yourself. My left earlobe is phenomenal. It's like,
yes, it is. So, but what I mean is that that we have this idea with the body that when we don't feel the body in any way, we're content.
Mhm.
The moment we feel the body, there's a problem with it, and we want to get back to that beautiful time where we did not feel our body at all. That was the good times, and that is just, it's such a bizarre way of being in the world, and it's so indicative of what Leona was talking about, that we do not want to feel the body. We're doing
Yeah.
everything in our lives to divert from feeling the body instead of just allowing whatever we feel to be there. Welcome it. Oh, here you are, pain. Amazing. Thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You know?
No, just be curious. Just be curious about your risk.
If you had
I am curious.
what
And
would
one of the things that appears to be happening, for example, I've stopped playing golf.
Here's what I found.
And I also wonder if that's, oh, how can I put it? It's like, it's almost, I can't remember. I can remember that I used to want to play golf. I enjoyed it to the point where I wanted to play it. And yet every time I played golf, at the end of it, I'd be wishing it was over because it would be physically difficult. But I wanted to, and now I have no desire to, and I feel like I've lost that wanting to do it because of the hand. So I wonder whether or not it's giving me permission to do what I wanted at a deeper level.
Yeah.
Which in this case was not play golf.
Yeah. It's funny because the way that you phrased it sounded like you, at first, that you missed wanting to play golf. Like you were, it was, but then.
But that is true. Yeah.
Yeah. So what was it? What was it about that wanting to play golf that you derived something from? Like that urge to do the thing? Was it satisfaction of actually getting to do the thing afterwards?
Or was it looking forward?
Or that?
Looking forward to something?
Yeah, it could be that looking forward thing is definitely so. For a large part of my golfing history, there was an idea that I would improve. And probably for the previous, I don't know, 12 months of my golfing history, there was an acceptance that I'll probably never get better than what I was at doing it. But I still enjoyed doing it. There was no fight about that, but there was an acceptance that I probably wouldn't improve. So the fantasy of getting better and better was a big part of well, most of it, except for, say, the previous 12 months or a couple of years. I don't remember how long. Yeah.
I'm also bringing the part up about looking forward to something, because that's usually part of diabetes, that life is, sour grapes. If it wasn't only about this thing I'm really looking forward to, then there would be nothing enjoyable in life. So it's more about the looking forward to than actually doing that is the reward. Just like you often talk about that those studies
So
that we look more that we get more out of looking forward to a holiday than actually being on the holiday.
yeah, sure. Yeah. So where the juice is for me in looking forward at the moment, please take this the right way. What I'm most looking forward to is affecting more and more people, helping people wake up more and more and more. That's where there's some excitement there, and there's certainly a looking forward to that. Almost, it's really weird, almost to the point of ignoring the ones that it's helping at the moment. That there's a lot going on now, but it's like there's the potential is so great for more and more and more for if I can, every person that I can help to wake up, if they can help 100 people, then pretty quickly we'll take over the world, you know.
It's
Kind
exactly
of.
what we're always saying, that we're saving the world one awakening at a time.
Yeah. But it's not one waking at a time, because if I've helped 100 people over my time, and each of them have helped 100 people,
That
and
was
each of them have helped 100 people, it's pretty quickly escalates, doesn't it?
sorted.
It's
Yeah.
exponential.
Which
Yeah.
is a great ambition, but I think, you know, it's also good to look into what the motivation is for that. That, you know, if is there some attachment to it, that if tomorrow you couldn't do it anymore, you know, how would you feel
Mm.
about that?
Yeah, it's hard to see. You say, how would I feel? And I don't know if you realize that you're saying, how will I feel? How will I think about that? It's okay. That's just the way it is. But how will I feel? I have no idea.
I don't know, feel was the right word. Like, how would
Yeah.
you?
Into
Yeah,
the body,
yeah,
into the
exactly.
body, with having a purpose, getting up in the
Well, I
morning.
can't imagine. So you're asking me to imagine something, and I can't do that. You know, I don't know how I would feel. I imagine that I will feel fine, but I recognize that that's just my imagination. I don't know how I'll
Yeah,
feel.
and also you're too quick, because right now you can feel into how does it feel to have the people right now that you're helping, and you see they have huge potential, and you have a feeling when you think about them, you have a feeling, and then you
Oh, it's wonderful. I feel like crying. Yeah.
yeah, exactly, and then you detach the thinking of them and just stay with that feeling that you have in the body. That is your answer. That is your answer. That feeling of vulnerability where you say that I can just start crying right away. Detach the thought and just staying with that vulnerability of being part of something bigger, that yeah, that sense of belonging, that sense of unity that is in what we're doing, because there's a huge feeling of unity and
Mm.
love in what we're doing.
Words keep wanting to come out. It's just so humility.
Mm.
Strange as the word. Humility. It's just so fucking sweet.
Yeah.
It's just. You know what's really weird is there's a melting feeling, and while I was doing that, I was aware that my hand wasn't hurting at all.
Mm.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
Oh, what a mystery!
No, but it's completely understandable. It's about that grasping for love that you don't need to grasp for. If you let go of the grasping and the thoughts about it and just stay with the feeling in your body, then it's right there. It's obviously right there. It's right under the surface. You don't need to grasp for it in any way. It's available right there.
It's almost too much, though. I mean, it's incapacitating. It's so huge.
Yeah. And what we talked about earlier with Leona, it's that part of being brave enough to rewrite your entire Vince history of who you are, you know, the identification of who Vince is, and all the stories and all of the fear, anger, guilt, and shame, and all of that, rewriting all of that goes out the window when you let go of the thoughts and let go of the grasping and let go of all that, and you just sit with that huge love that is just there. You know, that feeling of unity and belonging, and that is way beyond words, but it's just such a profound feeling. And
It,
the
it
entire
doesn't
story
feel like
away.
it doesn't feel like unity or belonging. It feels like annihilation.
Mm.
It feels like my cells are drifting apart to the point where there's nothing solid left anymore.
Go with that. Go with that. Go with that. Go with that. There's more underneath, Vince.
Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh, oh. Oh, then there's a pain in my temples,
Mm.
trying to stop it.
Yeah, just allow it to be there. Can you be in a body that has pain in the temples? If you close your eyes and you don't define it as temples, do you feel how it's just sensation floating in space? If you don't define the temples as temples,
Mm.
do you feel how the body's, and you're sitting with your eyes closed, that the body's just dissolving and there's sensation in space that might be defined as pain, but if you release the label of pain, it's just sensation floating in space. Can you be with that sensation floating in space? Breathe.
Mm. Because it changes.
Yeah, it does.
Right.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. How does your body feel now? If you close
Really,
your
Luke.
eyes, if you close your eyes, so you're not manifesting a body, but just closing your eyes and just feeling into the sensation floating in space. How is there anything that needs your attention?
It's like I need to engage my mind again to make my body solid again.
Yeah, you don't have to. You don't have to. You can do that in a moment. Right now, you're fine just staying here.
Mm.
So when I say that the only feeling is contentment, is there anything but contentment that needs to be looked at?
Mm. No, it's pervasive.
Mm.
Well, even that's not the right word because
I was
there's
just
no.
about to say contentment is such a square word where it's not at all the experience. is what comes closest to the experience. How it
My hand still not hurting.
fun?
My hand is still not hurting.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I was just about to
Yeah.
ask you. Yeah.
Mm.
So all your hand is reminding you of this space, that it wants you, your body wants you to go into this space every time the hand hurts. Go into this space and see what happens if you use that.
Mhm.
Just like when you need to pee, the bladder tells you that you need to pee. This is your body telling you that you need to go into this space by having pain in
Mhm.
your hand.
Yeah. Mm. When I bring my vision into focus, it solidifies the body again too.
Yeah. It's why there's a huge advantage with having the eyes closed, because it's easier to dissolve the body. The delusion of a body only happens when we have the sight, the vision,
Mm.
solidify it. The moment we don't have the vision, it's easier to dissolve the body, the delusion of the body.
Mm.
I got a question, Prunella, then. I mean, the practice that Vince just did to really truly embody it, when one want to do it even with the eyes open.
It's difficult with the eyes open because
Sure.
with the eyes open, you have all the delusions that are
Sure.
reaching the brain, and the brain is part of the meat suit, and the meat suit is here. So
Right.
it's kind of like we're stuck. It was like if you were a bat, you would pick other stuff up, and that would pick up every time you had the sonar on. So it's just like it is easier for human being meat suits to really get in contact with what actually is, and that dissolving of the delusion of a body when you have your eyes closed.
Yeah, I agree. However, so what Vince did, I actually can do with my eyes open because I've practiced doing what Vince did.
Yes.
It's just part of a meditative practice now. And what Vince did, well, for me, again, it was reaching that space, to use that word, again, that has no conditions.
Yeah.
It just is.
Yeah.
The purity of just this moment.
Yeah.
And now all the feelings and all the words that came up to describe it, like beautiful and all that, to me is all secondary. But Vince, and to me, all of us have had that direct experience of just this,
Mm.
the purity,
Mm.
which is right here, right now.
Yeah.
So that's why, at least for me, when I practice what Vince did with my eyes open, it just helps to remember it's here, right now, even
Yeah.
with the eyes open. That's all. And it takes practice. It took a lot of practice.
So it's also a really nice practice. Could you draw the curtains?
Yeah,
May I
it's
ask
getting
you
very
that?
dark.
Yeah. It's also a really good practice in allowing what is to sit with the eyes open, doing the just sitting with the eyes open,
Mhm.
where whatever comes up and whatever happens and whatever, it's just absolutely allowed. It's just like a flow that is happening with sight and sound and smell and taste.
Mhm.
It's just happening, and there's not an I that is experiencing any of it. It's just experience. It's a great
Right.
exercise, six feta exercise.
Right. And I think, well, I don't know. So now we're moving into 6 and 7, right?
Yeah.
Back to, yeah,
Six feta
okay.
is next time.
Yeah, so we can, anyway, thank you.
Vince, I love
I
you.
want to say thank you, Vince, again, for
Yeah.
being so vulnerable and authentic and being willing to share your work with us.
Yeah. I love you so much, Vince. And also you, Homer, for sharing just earlier. Well, is that it? Vince, you have a meeting to go to.
Oh, it started 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I popped up a note to say we were running a bit late just on the Facebook page.
Thank you.
So plenty of time, Vince, if you want to not run away.
Okay,
I
so
haven't been
Yeah.
notified of anybody else turning up to that meeting, so I don't know if anybody's there or not.
well, thank you so much, you guys. I'm really, really so appreciative of you guys rocking up early in the morning and late in the evening and being here for everything. I'm so, so happy about that. And if not sooner, then next time we meet, it's going to be for the 6th Feta, where we're going to sit and dissolve everything. So that's good. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Good seeing you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Love all of you.
Yeah.
Love you.
So much.
Bye.
Bye.